Right, 15 November 2024, and today I've got yet another update for this week, the last update of the week. And today I want to take you through what is happening in Mozambique and in SADC. So it's a very important day today because Mnangagwa is returned from COP29, and he was received yesterday by Chiwenga and Mohadi. So the return of Mnangagwa is very important because this return is for the purpose of the SADC Summit or the SADC Extraordinary Summit that is going to take place in Zimbabwe. And this is a critical event for the whole of SADC. You're going to see what is going to happen. Our region is going through one of the biggest changes, political changes from the old guard to the new people. So the new youngsters who do not have any link to the liberation struggle are starting to take over. But the biggest defender of the liberation struggle movements is Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is proving to be a big obstacle to change in Southern Africa. Mnangagwa is the cause of all the problems that you are seeing in Southern Africa, in Mozambique, in Botswana, in Zambia, and in Namibia. Mnangagwa is causing serious problems in this region. He's interfering in the elections in all these countries. Specifically, Mnangagwa is interfering in the election process in Mozambique, and Mnangagwa has removed Mozambique from the SADC Summit agenda. The SADC Summit, Extraordinary Summit, is going to take place from the 17th to the 20th. So you see that initially I said from the 16th, and now it appears as if they've moved the date to the 17th, which is Sunday. So the presidents of various countries are going to start arriving on the 16th, which is on Saturday. And then on Sunday, there is going to be a SADC, the beginning of the SADC Summit, Extraordinary Summit. And this is going to be without Mozambique. So they're going to remove Mozambique from the agenda. Mnangagwa has made sure that SADC is not going to, Mozambique is not going to be discussed on the SADC agenda, on the extraordinary agenda. He wants to focus more on what is happening in the DRC. And so let me take you through what is going to happen and why Mnangagwa doesn't want SADC to discuss Mozambique. So on the 16th, there's going to be the arrival, which is Senior Officials and Ministerial Committee of the organ. And then on the 17th, there is going to be those meetings, as I said, in the morning, Ministerial Committee of the organ, Senior Officials, they're going to meet and discuss. On the 18th of November, there's meeting of the Council of Ministers to discuss recommendation from the MCO. And then on the 19th of November, there's going to be meeting on the organ. And then on the 20th of November, there's going to be meeting of the Troika, chaired by Tanzanian President Samir Suluhu Hassan. And then on the 20th of November, that is when you're going to have the Extraordinary Summit. So the Extraordinary Summit is going to happen on the 20th, which is on Wednesday. And when that happens, there is then going to be the communique, and that meeting is chaired by Mnangagwa. So you see that what is happening is that all these other organs are going to have meetings, and then Mnangagwa is going to have the last word on the 20th, which is on Wednesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, Mnangagwa is going to give the final statement. So Mozambique is not going to be discussed, or if it is discussed, Mnangagwa is going to make sure that there is no serious discussion on what is happening in Mozambique. SADC has been very weak on Mozambique. They have failed to issue a statement on the elections. They have failed to issue a condemnation of the rigging that has taken place in Mozambique, where ballots were stuffed into the ballot boxes, and there were people on the voters' roll, more people on the voters' roll than people in the wards. So this is what has caused the problem that you're seeing right now in Mozambique. The most popular person in Mozambique, President Venancio Mondlane, has refused to accept the fake results that came out of that election. and he has left Mozambique with wild protests taking place across the whole country of Mozambique. So there are protests taking place in Mozambique right now as we speak. And at the same time, Mnangagwa has sent in Zimbabwean soldiers to support the Mozambican military, especially in Beira and in Manica province. So what you can clearly see is that Mnangagwa is taking care of his own interests. He does not care about the Mozambicans, and the Mozambicans are continuing to fight Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa is the problem in the whole region of Southern Africa. Mnangagwa is the one who's causing problems. And people must realize that if you want to deal with electoral disputes in Southern Africa, you first of all have to deal with Mnangagwa. He is the problem in our country. He is the problem in our region. And you can see what has happened in Botswana. The people in Botswana had to go and protest at the Zimbabwean embassy. Right now, the people in Namibia are fighting against the situation that is happening, where Renform, the company that was involved in rigging in Zimbabwe, is also involved in the printing of ballot boxes in Namibia. So crazy stuff that is taking place, and Mnangagwa at the center of everything that is wrong with our region. Now, I think I've covered that, and I'll be back, obviously, to give you more coverage of everything that will be happening at SADC. You remember that on 12 July, I was in Zambia, where I managed to get into Mulungushi, resulting in that dangerous situation that took place in Zambia. And I'm going to give you more details about what happened after that Zambia meeting. There is more that happened, which I will let you know about. Now I'm going to go to a very big story. And this is for anyone who is coming from Matabeleland. You must watch this, what I'm saying here, very, very carefully. And you must understand the significance of what has happened here. So on your screen is the Caledonia CEO, Mark Lemont. Caledonia has discovered massive gold deposits in Bubi. So in the area of Bubi, they have discovered massive gold deposits that stretch over 9 kilometers. So that is 9 kilometers square of gold. And this gold is very close to the surface. The gold is also deep. So you've got one of the biggest gold discoveries ever to be made in Zimbabwe right now at Bubi. And I don't know what is the implication of this thing that I'm saying to you now. So you should probably be prepared for a big influx of macrocosa in your area. Because what has happened is that this gold deposit has been sitting there right next to another gold deposit that this mine already is mining. And this is sitting on state land. So this gold that I'm talking about, if you're in the area of Matabeleland, you know that about 100 kilometers from Bulawayo, there is a place called Bubi. There are 3 gold deposits or gold claims that are currently being mined there by Caledonia Mine. That is Mutapa, and I think there's another one here. Let me see what is the name of that. Bill Boss mining claim, and also Mali Green. So they've got 3 gold claims in that area. This is on top of Blanket Mine, which is one of their biggest gold claims in Zimbabwe. However, what they've discovered now, after digging holes for prospecting, is the biggest ever and most promising gold claim. And as you know, Caledonia is listed on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. So massive gold deposit being discovered at Bubi. So Bubi is also one of the centers that are going to be a city, according to what I've said here before in the past. Bubi is going to be one of the cities, and this gold deposit is amazing. If you're from this area of Bubi, watch this very closely and do something about it. There is gold all over that area, and you know the fights that have been taking place over gold. But you are going to face or see one of the biggest mining companies moving into this area on top of what they already did. And they've now discovered a massive gold deposit over there at Bubi. So I don't know what you're going to do with this information, but do something. Otherwise, you won't get those millions that you're supposed to get. Now, let's go to another man. That is Ken Sharp here. So Ken Sharp is in Victoria Falls today. As I told you, there's going to be the Computer Society of Zimbabwe event over there. Ken Sharp is one of the biggest property developers in Zimbabwe. And what Ken has said is that the ZIG is now a problem. So for the first time, Ken has admitted that the ZIG is a problem. He has asked the government of Zimbabwe to not force people to use the ZIG. He's pulling back from everything that has been said about the ZIG. Remember, he was with Mnangagwa last month when they opened that project. Ken has managed to sell off almost all the property that is building. There's unlimited demand for property in Zimbabwe. And I said to you that there is a demand for at least 5 million units, housing units in Zimbabwe right now as you speak. The problem that we have is that they're building everywhere. So they build one thing here, they build one thing there. Our country is not connected. So that is what we want to sort out with the high-speed rail. So Ken is starting to realize that no matter what he does, it makes no sense. He can build his little things over here and over there, but things are not working. So he is in the newspaper today, in the Newsday newspaper. You can go check him out, where he's saying this is not making sense. The ZIG is a problem. The economy is not functional, and this is the first time that Ken Sharp has spoken against Mnangagwa's poor policies. Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara. Even people who are close to Mnangagwa can now see kuti Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara. And this is going to be happening throughout. You're going to see people slowly realizing that Mnangagwa's policies are poor. The problem is Mnangagwa, and Mnangagwa needs to change what he's doing. By the 27th of December, if Mnangagwa hasn't changed what he's doing, he'll be out of office. There's no one who likes what Mnangagwa is doing. It's a mess, and it's crazy what Mnangagwa is doing. Then let me go to a story that is taking place in Bulawayo. That is the toughest peace order ever has been issued by a judge in Bulawayo. So this is to do with a couple, Charlotte Dlamini and the Gatumcele Dlamini. So Gatumcele Dlamini is married to Charlotte Dlamini. She has gone to court claiming that he's beating her up and he's insulting her on a daily basis, and she wants a peace order. Gatumcele, on the other hand, has told the judge that Charlotte comes home late and she goes berserk and beats him up, and she claims that she's got ancestral spirits. That is why she does that. So the judge in Bulawayo has issued the strongest ever peace order, 5 years peace order between these two, that they must not do anything to each other. I don't think in the whole of Zimbabwe there is a peace order that has been issued that is that strong. So you can go and look at the B Metro newspaper. This is where the story is. Gatumcele and his wife Charlotte slept with a 5-year peace order against each other. So they are going to have to keep peace even though they live in the same house. You can see that these are adults. So normally what happens is, and I always tell guys, so let me tell you my secret. A man must have his own private space. So in the house, you and your wife, you mustn't be always in the same room. A man must have his own place. So let's say you've got an office in your home. You must spend 50% of your time in your office. And when you are with your wife, it mustn't be continuous talking and discussing, and you'll get too used to each other until you have these useless fights, which people have. So normally there's problem people have with small houses. So someone has got only one sitting room and they are all sitting in one space at the same time. So try to have a big house. And what we're going to do is, when we do our planned cities, we're going to make sure that every man has got his own space, the wife has got his own space, because people normally fight because they share too much space too much of the time. And so you need to give each other space, and that is not happening. That's why you have these problems in families. That's why Charlotte ends up coming home late. She's like, I cannot go to that place where I'm always fighting. Crazy stuff happening in Kobulawayo. But even crazier stuff is happening in South Africa. And what is trending today is this doctor here. He's a fake doctor, Lieto Kingsley Shepele. He is currently in jail since October 2023. He has been scamming women using his good looks. 1.3 million that he has taken from women, claiming that he was starting a pharmacy business. And women were giving him his money. Some woman, their money. Some woman even gave him 200,000, which she took from a bank. She would fall in love with the girl, convince her that he's a doctor, and then he would tell her that he's building a pharmacy. She would take a loan and he would take that money. He took 1.3 million. Many girls has fallen up to this guy. And as we speak right now, his father is being sought by the police. He was also using 2 fake IDs where he would claim to be one person or the other. And this man, many girls loved him. That is why they ended up dropping their money and also trying to be his wife. This is basically what happened. And they thought they were helping. Unfortunately, it was all fake and they've lost their money. One girl is paying 8,000 rands a month to paying this loan off. Another girl is paying 3,000 a month because they wanted to be in love with this guy. Unfortunately, it was fake, and Kingsley cannot pay back the money. They've lost the money, and he is currently in jail. So this is a trending story. Fake doctor taking 1.3 million from girls in what is called a romance scam. So when you run a romance scam, you approach a girl and you tell her that you love her, and she drops a guard, you wipe her out of all her money. This is what is crazy about love. Love can make you blind. This is what is happening in South Africa. And it's not the first time that such guys, such smooth talking guys, have managed to steal so much money from women. If you're a woman, you don't need a man who doesn't have money. Do not date a man who owns nothing. If you're a man, you're a woman, find a guy who's got a life. So I think this is tough on guys. But if you find yourself having to ask for money from a girl, that is a problem. Why would you do that? Do not ask for money from women. And women, do not give guys money. If a guy is broke, do not date him. That is my advice to women. Stop dating broke guys. Most of them are scammers. Now let's go to a big story also coming out of Bulawayo. Bulawayo guys are big today. They bought a car. So Sunny Hill is a suburb of Bulawayo, around hillside. They bought their 6th car, patrol car for the police at hillside. You know that Mnangagwa is useless and the police in Zimbabwe are useless. So the community of hillside or Sunny Hill have bought 6 patrol cars. And this is a Toyota Aqua that they just bought and branded. So this car here, they bought it and they branded it. So police are now able to patrol in this area and also provide services. So if something goes wrong, police can easily come and attend to the issue. What an amazing setup. Sunny Hill, they've done very well in terms of security. I then want to go to this Kenyan company. There's a company in Zimbabwe called Fiber Connections. This Kenyan company has lost their business to some heavily politically connected people. They were running a company in Zimbabwe, and they provided services of $1 million by a company called Linen Tree. And Linen Tree is from some very politically connected people. So they've taken over the company from this Kenyan, and this guy is called Jonas Maru. He's a popular Kenyan business person and entrepreneur with businesses all over Africa. However, the Zimbabweans have taken over his company and they've put it under judicial management, claiming that he's failing to repay 1 million US dollars. So that is the situation right there. And I do not know why Jonas Maru is quiet. He said nothing about it. And I believe it's because you know how politically connected these people are. Obviously, we've been following the story of Baltasa Ebang Ngonga. And yesterday he spoke for the first time. So you can go check out that story on Gambakwe. We've put out the story of Baltasa Ebang Ngonga. He's finally defended himself from prison at the Black Sea beach where they're holding him after what he did. And the videos where he featured. And speaking about that, the guys in the UK, our special for the movie is still ongoing. You get 2 packs from our supplier for each order you make. So you get 2 packs. Musatongwe Nema salad. And the guys who know what I'm talking about, they'll understand. If you are not having a MV supply in your house, apana zwamurikita, yukoko. Really, I just don't want to laugh at guys who don't use MV because that thing is dangerous. It's the most powerful herb ever. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's the most powerful herb. And guys are starting to understand Zimbabwe. One of the biggest reasons why guys need to use herbs is because of diabetes. There's a report that has come out today. The report has been issued by the South Africans. 10% of the people in South Africa are now diabetic. That is 5.6 million in South Africa are diabetic. And why are people diabetic? You become diabetic because of what you eat. You're sitting at the desk for the whole time. And poverty. They said poverty is one of the causes of diabetes. Why is poverty one of the causes of diabetes? The only thing you can afford is sadza, tea, and bread. The worst enemies of health. Those 3 products I just told you, sadza, tea, and poverty. Well, not poverty, but sadza, tea, and bread. They are the worst enemies of health. Stay away from these 3. Those are the worst enemies of good health. So yeah, you need to make your order. What's up there? We'll send it to you by DHL. Those are our sponsors here on Gambakwe. And next week, we'll be telling you more about what will be happening. I now want to give you a feature. So these days I'm giving features of the Americans. So the Indians are becoming big in America. So this is Vivek Ramaswamy. He is working with Elon Musk. He's been appointed by Trump on the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. And you know that there's Dogecoin, but Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency. Vivek Ramaswamy is an American entrepreneur, and he is in the biotechnology sector. And you know that Elon Musk is on the technology sector. Vivek Ramaswamy is in the biotech sector. He's the founder of a company called Roivant, which he founded in 2014. If you go online, you'll see that he graduated high school in 2002. He's a very young guy, but he has created a massive number of biotechnology patents. His company was listed on NASDAQ, and he remains a shareholder after he stepped down as the executive chairman in 2023 to become a candidate for the Republicans as a presidential candidate. So he actually contested initially against Trump, and he was working on the same things that Trump is working on, but his focus was on government efficiency. That is why Trump has put him in his government. So Vivek Ramaswamy is also an advocate for the deportation of immigrants, illegal immigrants from America. So the Indians are doing very, very well in American politics. And you know that yesterday, Trump has announced Tulsi Gabbard as the U.S. intelligence chief. So the Indians are doing very, very well. And if you want to know about Tulsi Gabbard, she is a Hindu, and she believes, I don't want to laugh, so let me not continue. So if you see your line, you will see it. Singing in a song, Krishna, Krishna. She does sing that song. And that is true but here, the new US intelligence chief. Amazing stuff taking place in America. And I'll be back in and out of America as we continue with the high-speed rail. So we're going to be working on high-speed rail, and the process is already underway. Our company has now been registered, a National High-Speed Rail, and I'll give you more details about that. It's not my company, but our company has been registered. That is the guys who are going to be doing high-speed rail. And high-speed rail is going to be big in Southern Africa. Guys, what is going to happen is your village is going to have a rail. So people in Gambakwe, get ready. People in Kariba, get ready. Victoria Falls, 3 hours, Harare to Victoria Falls. That's what we want to do. High-speed rail is a game changer, and it's going to make our region a very, very successful region. And I'm so excited about the prospects for our country of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is the only country in the whole world where if you put a hub at Gweru, you'll be in every place within 2 hours. Amazing stuff. Our country of Zimbabwe, very blessed. But Mnangagwa is the problem. Mnangagwa, people will deal with Mnangagwa eventually, but they don't get it. Most people don't know what to do with Mnangagwa. It's clear that something has to be done. Look what Auxilia Mnangagwa is doing. She's getting worse and worse on a daily basis. That is Auxilia Mnangagwa. Now, let me take you through Black Friday deals. So in the Herald today, there are Black Friday deals. So what I'm going to do is today, I'm just going to take you through the Black Friday deals so that you see what is over there. Zimbabwe is very strange. Like it's a country where things are very expensive. So let's look at what is actually on offer for Black Friday, just so that you get an idea of what prices are like in Zimbabwe and compare with other places. So if you look at Black Friday, this is what they're selling things for. And this is, which company is this? I don't even know which company it is, but they've advertised widely. Dinner set, $30. Air fryer, $115. My suitcase, $80. And obviously the TVs are $500, $700 with TV. So what can I say? The price in Zimbabwe is about 3 times a normal price. So in other countries, so this one, okay. And okay is similar to, let's say, ShopRite or Checkers here in South Africa. So these are the prices you should see. If you are looking for something to buy, go to OK Zimbabwe. I used to work at this company. My first job ever as a professional, I worked at OK Zimbabwe in Granite Site, 7 Ramon Road. And my job was as analyst program or system administrator. That was my first job. My first salary was over there. Tichipiwa imwe inonzi okay money kana kuti mamombe. If you work at okay, you know what I'm talking about. They had their own special money for staff, where if you want to borrow money, they'll give you money to buy inside okay. And that was crazy. So guys from okay, give me a like if you still get mamombe. That crazy money. And when I left okay, I was the first person, I think, in management to leave okay. And I obviously went to join Trust Bank. That was unheard of at that time because working for OK, which was part of Delta. So OK was initially part of Delta. This was unheard of. People wanted to get into OK, and I was going out to work at a company which no one knew about, Trust Bank. But that turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made. Working in the banking sector in Zimbabwe at that time was amazing. Dara Nyemba, akagadzira bank rinotyisa. Nyemba, it came from NMB to form Trust Bank. He went on to form one of the biggest banks, and the guys who worked with me at Trust Bank, they know what an amazing bank that was. Tumwe to my baby, twakatenga dzimba muBorodho Brook speed. Madhara aifamba iwayo. I think aijambe madhara aya. Aitengera to my baby dzimba muBorodho Brook umo. Now let's look at the comments. Mgoma Teresa says it is the godfather of chaos and shamelessly disrupting progress in the region. That's correct. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Yes, he speaks to protect his investment. Yes, that's correct. Mkoma Peter says, forget about high-speed rail, mate. Who will allow you to do that? You will see Mkoma Peter. High-speed rail is a game changer. And I'm going to be the godfather of high-speed rail in Southern Africa. You're going to see it. There's consensus that we need high-speed rail. The only thing is how are we going to get started? If you don't own it, it's going to be owned by foreigners. But what we're trying to do is make sure that we own high-speed rail, and everyone here is going to be part of it. Then Mutsa says, but your Mumbai is so expensive. $100 for that small pack. Hell, how many grams is that thing? Okay, so Mumbai at Skuteng is $100. Mumbai is approximately $20. The shipping is what is expensive. I can sell you Mumbai. Kunongo, South Africa was selling it for $20. The problem is how do we ship it to you? And if you know how Mumbai works, and also know Mumbai, I did. That thing is dangerous. Again, with our rate, 1 liter engine to 3 liter engine. What does it mean? Plus 1 kickstart. What does it mean? Vanoziya chinichi, vanochiziya. Pane imwe handisikuudza ipanapa ndia. Because you yakapenga. Mukoma Mutsa. This thing that I'm not telling you. Pane vanoziya. But ndinokupai inonzi parable. Let's say majara kuenda kana kuti kupiwa 1 kg. I did. But next time mupo inonzi 1.2 kg. I think that thing is dangerous. That help. That is why Baltasa is in jail right now, because the capital right. Some mama, I didn't see Baltasa. I didn't terminate a part. $100 is nothing for a month supply. So you are agitating for married people to stay separated from the house. That is Mkoma Peter regarding what I said about the man having his own space. Let me tell you a secret. Where I'm sitting here, this is my office. When I'm working in the morning between 8 and 4, I don't spend the whole time gossiping with my wife about, Vanopa next door, Vazotenga Mota, Vanopa next door, they've done this. Avoid becoming too close and friendly to your wife like your girlfriends. If you're a man, if you want to maintain the respect of your wife, 1, start a business. 2, avoid being emotional and just talking. Don't do that. And don't sit in the whole day with the wife and the kids. In 2 minutes, you're simple. Otherwise, we'll go to that is the problem with most guys. And what I'm talking about, Mkoma Peter, is have your own space. Isuzu Matara, the great Gambakwe. Same house, never cards. So if you know what I'm talking about, if a woman cooks, all the guys are at the center, they come and eat there. Then you can go to your mother, Monota or party. You don't spend the whole day sitting in the same room, fighting each other and hitting each other up. Then on top of that, let's say Murumana Vakat 3. They don't sleep every night in the same room. I don't matter what day, and the Murumana or what we call, if you are in a setup with many wives, what we call duties. Could 1 week, and next week another woman comes. But in a situation where you've got 1 wife, right? The reason why you end up with Mabuita rub each other against the wrong way is because one the whole day, which and you now understand each other too much, including your mistakes. Mabusiana too much, your mistakes and your weaknesses. That is why, Mkoma Peter, I'm saying a man must have his own space. How do you think when you're always with someone who is giving you ukafunga idea about ifunga what you run through to your wife and she tells you no that idea is bad and you always say no that's our idea. That is the problem. Have space and make sure that during the day unombobuda bamba and then becoming toxic. Your wife is your best friend, not the other way around. Should be trust the friend Guita Makuwa. Never. You never see me gossiping with my wife about anyone or anything. Your wife, she must see you as a husband, not as a friend. And a husband, Mono, I know a provider, Mono, I know stability, not Mono with a gossip. Naye. So imagine my parents are gossip. Because I don't know that it's an emotional of it. And it's, but that's my view. That is what I like to advise guys on what works. And I think what works and what avoids these problems is lack of space. Sitting room kadiki, most of them mess the whole day. Personal man body, I was into office. Right now, I'm out here, I'm working. Then come out at time you go out. Some families, they never go out. If you ask yourself, you and the wife, when was the last time you took a drive? Mkambo ndo pa Vic Falls, kana pa Nyanga, kana pa Matopo zako. Matopo is the easiest place to go, but the worst place was when you go to Matopo, all you see is trees. There are no animals. And if you got that little lake, there's no security. Takapasa manyis one day, then pano only papo. Takamanyis one, I think it runs is Ichiri, the Muromi, the hippopotamus. Pakati manyisa when we were trying to bride there. So go somewhere nice. Go to a place where you can relax, but not spend the whole day hanging out. And then the only time you're together is when you're in church. My church apparates a marriage. Because they just want your money and nothing else. Most churches in Zimbabwe are fake. Take it from me. Most churches in Zimbabwe are fake. I'm sorry. Right, I think I've covered everything. And what an interesting day. We've covered SADC, and we've said that the SADC Extraordinary Summit is going to be taking place in Zimbabwe starting on the 17th of Sunday. And Mnangagwa has removed Mozambique from the agenda. So Mnangagwa has removed Mozambique from the agenda. He's focusing on the DRC. And obviously, there's a big reason why he's helped Mozambique to rig Mnangagwa Arkuraya region, Arkuraya Nzara, and his wife Auxilia here. She was with the Huawei representative in Zimbabwe yesterday. Crazy stuff. I cannot believe this family, family Adam Mnangagwa, when they finally go, they are going to see Kuti. Our country was destroyed by this family, Yana Mnangagwa. So I'd like to thank all of you for watching, and let me talk to you about Gringo. Gringo Lazarus Bora died 5 years ago. And here at Gambakwe, what I did is when Gringo got sick, we obviously started sending our guys to talk to him, and we would pay him a small amount of money just to cover the household goods. If you see that, starting to yesterday, we are featuring Gringo. We're going to feature him talking about his life story. He left a wife and 7 children. And I don't know what we can do to assist him, Gringo. So please watch the Gringo stories, and let's see what we can do for the family, which was left with 7 children and the wife. So I'm gonna sit down and think about it. Kuti, how do we help this family? Kuti, they do work. It's very difficult. And you can see what Gringo said himself yesterday in that feature which I put out. Kuti, entertainment industry in Zimbabwe doesn't pay. So please, let's see what we can do. I'm obviously working on a project to get a house to everyone who is in the entertainment industry, in the media sector. I'm also working with some of the mayors and some of the people who are behind the scenes, so that we'll come up with a plan as we work on the planned cities. So it's going to happen. My goal is that if you're in entertainment, if you're a journalist, we get you a house, a proper house, a planned city for journalists on top of what we're doing for the soldiers, 2 houses for each soldier, and also high-speed rail. Amazing plans that we have. But please follow Gringo as a feature. That is the 5-year memorial that we're doing. Tonight we'll be putting version 2 for Gringo. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.